Monday night to make the decision. I'm kind of open to what the board would like to do at this point.
I would like to think about it.
And I would like to say I have 2 family weddings out of town next week, so unfortunately I won't be here on Monday. I'll be here the following Monday, so depending on what we're doing, I can try to call in for discussion, but I definitely won't be here. I think the bottom line is, do we feel we have a candidate or candidates that can move on to the next portion and meet community and staff and have answer questions from community and staff? I mean, that's the bottom line. Is there a fit with these candidates that we could see being able to lead our district and work with everybody, or most people in the district?
Yeah, I think that's exactly, as you remember from the last set of interviews, the discussion that we had is that there was some discussion that we didn't feel that that we did have a candidate to the next level, but we had some board members that felt that maybe we needed a little bit more information from them and some more questions asked. So that's why we kind of inserted interview number 2 for the board's sake to make a decision whether we want to move forward in presenting somebody. And I guess the bottom line, and I think Mr. Stilly stated, well, are we comfortable with either one of these or both of these to move them to the next level where one of them would become our superintendent? Because when you take it to the public, in that sense, you're saying, here's what we feel one of these could run our district. I think that's for them.
Yeah, right. Well, one of the reasons that we had the second round interviews also is that I was out of town for work when we had the interviews, so I hadn't heard anything that the candidates had to say, so I couldn't base judgment off anything. So that was one of the reasons that I asked that we had this as well, so that I could better gauge where we were at.
And I think that the discussion also centers around, if we don't feel that we have a match here, next steps would be to have reposted and search for other candidates. Is that what I remember the discussion being? And I also, just my 2 cents, I mean, there's not going to be somebody that comes in and sits in the seat during the interview process or sits in the superintendent process that's fully 100% prepared to work in this district. It's a learning process, so there's not an ideal candidate that's going to walk in and be 100% prepared.
And one of the other things, just in addition to that, is that we did want to take time to check backgrounds on all of them, references, also to interview people that were necessarily the references, which has been done now. So that could or could not make it, helpful. So the decision, I guess, tonight is: are we ready to make a decision tonight? Or I would say by Monday, at the very latest, because it would prolong it much longer. I mean, not what's going to change. I mean, by Monday we should be able to know something, so that if we want to move forward, we can get that taken care of and make sure that people are informed and we can set those interviews up. Or if we don't feel like we have a viable candidate, that we can start the process over. So that's kind of where we're.
Hey, John, I guess 2-parter. I would like a person like Monday, but what happens if on Monday is just like, we decide we come down to one of these we think it would fit? I don't know. Would we still have the public thing before we make the final decision? So just be that one person then?
No, I think regardless we have to have the public.
Because I like having the public thing where people come and even if we narrow it down to one before we make that final.
Well, and I'm sure there are going to be people, and there's probably people sitting here in the audience tonight that have questions they would wish we would have asked, and that'll be their opportunity to ask those questions, and we'll be able to hear those answers as well. So I think it's a necessity that we do that. I think that's only fair to our community, to our staff, but it also goes beyond us of making. We ultimately make the decision, but they can ask some good questions that will give us some good answers that can help us make a decision.
Now, on our ones that we chose to check up, and I happened to have the bill up last time. We make that a written report. Just gonna make that a verbal report. We find out that the entire board will meet on Monday.
Well, I think we shared some of that last week. But if there are things that you would like the board to know, I would say to put it in a written report to the board.
Okay.
If there's other things, I guess.
So just a point of clarification, what we had said before is that we needed 2 candidates to present to the public. That is still the correct statement, right? So to clarify what you're saying, there wouldn't, I don't know how much sense it would be to have just one to cover everyone.
I think I guess the bottom line to it is, do we think we have a viable candidate? Because obviously we're not going to hire both of them. Do we think we have a viable candidate? If we do think we have a viable candidate, then we should proceed to the next step. Bring them both back in to the public and then make our decision. But the question is, do we have a viable candidate? Because I know there's been some discussion that some board members were not comfortable prior to the interviews tonight, so that may have changed. So if we feel like we have a viable candidate, my suggestion would be we bring them both in for the public, because I think the public as well needs to have a comparison to be able to hear answers from 2 different people as opposed to one. Just to give you a little background, last time we had 2 candidates that we brought in for a town meeting, and after we had the town hall meeting, one of them asked to be withdrawn from consideration. So we at that point had 1 candidate, but we were comfortable with the candidate that we had. So, things like that could happen, but I think it'd be a waste of time to bring 1 person in for for them to ask questions.
Well, and I sort of disagree with that. If we felt we only had 1 viable candidate of the 2 that we just interviewed, and we had already determined that the other one was not a viable candidate or a fit for the district, then we could bring the one that we thought was viable to see how they interact with the community and how they answer questions from community and staff. But to bring, if we feel we don't have 2 viable candidates, to bring both back just so we have 2 to compare to, I don't think it's fair to the 1 candidate that we might not think is viable if that comes to that point. So I'm just saying, we don't necessarily, in my opinion, have to have 2 viable candidates to go to a community. I'd like to see how, if we have viable candidates, how they interact with the community, how they answer questions on their feet. And the community questions, from my experience with the interviews, are different and often can lead people to have to think on their feet a little bit more than our questions. Our questions are more geared to the role of the superintendent, in my opinion. So.
Well, going back to the last interview, if we need a decision tonight on 1 viable candidate,
I'm sorry, are you talking about the interviews we did before or the last candidate?
No, the interviews we did before. Okay. I'm not comfortable making a decision on 1. Mm-hmm. That is of 2. So if we have a town hall meeting, if we're gonna wait until next week, which you're going out of town, and I do want to respect you being, I want you to be in on this as well. A town hall meeting is something, if we do take it to a third to try to get me, speaking on myself, make me to to make a decision, I would want to see both of these guys in a town hall meeting. So if we're going to move, this forward, I would really want to, if I'm making a decision tonight, whether we're gonna bring one back, I say bring both back, because I'd really like to see how they both interact, because, I'm just, I don't think, I really don't think that, at this point, the two candidates we're dealing with are, I just don't feel right with picking either one right now, so.
So,
Sorry.
go ahead, Tom.
No, I was just gonna say, it seems we've got a bit of a growing consensus to review the material and make a final call as to going forward on Monday. It's kind of what I'm gleaning from this. I'm speaking myself, I'd like to listen to the tapes from today as well. I think I've already got enough information between all the work we've done, interviews, and other areas, but it sounds like we could make a final call Monday. But we need to clarify the question. So
The question is, do we want to proceed to the next step?
And it's an all or nothing question.